So yesterday afternoon, a story broke, something that had been percolating behind the scenes apparently for a week. And that is student athletes at Iowa and Iowa State have found to have been gambling on sports. This is what started the speculation is actually an Iowa baseball player named Keaton Anthony, who last year was a freshman All-American, one of the better players in the Big Ten. He got taken out of the lineup for 3 straight games by Iowa, and it was announced that there was some sort of potential suspension here. He's arguably their best player, probably is their best player. So people started asking questions, and what came out of this is a report that there are 111 people at Iowa and 15 at Iowa State. Now, why are these things tied together? Because Iowa, Iowa State, and Northern Iowa all have the same Board of Regents. So I guess there's some working relationship between these universities that
State does it rather than each school.
A little bit different. But anyway, so of the 111, 26 are current student athletes. The rest are former student athletes. Gator, I can almost hear the alerts from inboxes around the country going off as athletic directors fire off emails to their student athletes reminding them the rules.
Mandatory, must view.
Yeah. And probably staff meetings and all student athletes required to report for a meeting with the athletic director Wednesday at 2 p.m. or it must be on a Zoom call. I guess some people are out of season, won't be on campus. But this is going to happen. And the depressing part is it's probably already happened all over in every athletic department. I don't have any inside information, but imagine if you can legally place a bet on your phone, which isn't every state, but it is our state. Are we to believe that not one student athlete?
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you think it's possible that college students in our state have placed bets on sports?
I'm scared. I'm really scared.
And not only that, but the student athletes, of course they have. Of course they have.
So,
and because you have to be 21 or over, right?
Yep.
So you think that, the rules are you got to be 21. Gee, are there ways around that?
I'm sure there are.
There are ways around that. Actually, the ones that might be safe from that are the ones that are underage that want to do it because they'll go find somebody who's 21 or older to go ahead and, hey, here's $100. Just put I'm betting with you, but go ahead and bet the game tonight. I mean, yeah, this stuff is going to happen. This is the can of worms you opened up when you kind of got in bed with gambling online.
So, first of all, the NCAA rule is you cannot bet on any sport, pro or college, if it's an NCAA sanctioned sport. So you can't bet on football because there's NCAA football, pro or college. You can't bet on basketball because there's NCAA basketball. You can't bet pro, can't bet college. It's basically everything but horse racing.
Right. I was going to say,
NCAA.
There's golf, there's hockey, there's baseball.
There's boxing. There are so many NCAA sports. I think essentially the only thing that student athletes can bet legally at the age of 21 is like horse racing and dog racing.
And hacky sack.
You might be able to bet cricket. I'm trying to think of a sport that...
Highlight?
Yeah. I don't think there's NCAA highlight. So it doesn't matter if it's college or pro. The NCAA requires, we went through this last week with the Alabama story, so I made some calls and found out that the NCAA requires that every athletic department do one presentation to the student body about gambling. Because I work with a lot of people in Michigan, I asked there, and they said they do 3 a year minimum, including one right around March Madness. So the warnings are out there, all right? The warnings are out there. And the thing that blows everybody's mind, if you go to a football game at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, there will be advertisements on the big board from one of the sponsors, the Riverside Hotel, Casino, and Golf Course.
Sure. They're not alone.
Northern Iowa. We just mentioned that the Board of Regents. Northern Iowa is upgrading their indoor football stadium. They have a dome.
Okay.
Which includes a $1.5 million deal with Elite Casinos.
Huh. Look at that.
So all these athletic departments are raking in money and sponsorship deals. And the student athletes are told not to. Now, we can talk about the hypocrisy. The truth is the student athletes do benefit. They don't get money in their pocket because of the sponsorship deals, but they get better facilities. They get the benefit of that. And God knows you cannot have a football program without a waterfall in the atrium.
Right.
Or a lazy river or a barbershop or a room, dedicated to gaming and a pool table. How are guys supposed to excel at the highest level on the gridiron without a barbershop?
Well, those are certainly things that would entice one to go to a school over another.
Well, it's true. So, anyway, it does feel hypocritical, but the rules are the rules. And it's already impacted us here because we've lost Jamison Williams for 6 games. And Jamison Williams either tried to get away with it or wasn't paying attention when the rules were spelled out of where you can and can't gamble. He's under NFL rules are different than college rules. So these college student athletes, and only one name has been connected to this because it's a baseball player that's been sitting out at Iowa. I mean, I'm scared. I'm really scared that in all legal states, everywhere, this is probably happening. Now it's up to the athletic departments to sit down again and say, guys.
Well, they may have. Sometimes these investigations take a while to play out and bear some fruit. In 2 weeks, we've got Alabama, Iowa, Iowa State, and Northern Iowa.
Well, Northern Iowa had nobody associated with it. They just have the casino deal with the
so you got Iowa, Iowa State, and Alabama. That's just in 2 weeks. Are there other shoes that are going to drop? Absolutely there are. There's no question. People are gonna start doing their deeper dives and doing investigations and some I think for the most part you're gonna see a lot of circumstantial stuff out there. There may not be hard evidence that it implicates that somebody was doing something nefarious.
Like, what do you mean? Well, because these things are easily traceable.
Yeah, I know they're traceable, but it might be something honest. Like, hey, a guy missed 3 games because he legitimately was sick or something like that. But because he missed 3 games and you see the lines go crazy, somebody puts big money, it gets flagged, and then they'll do an investigation, a deep dive, and it's circumstantial. You could argue either way whether or not it was fixed.
Right. This has nothing to do with something like that. These are accusations that student athletes bet.
Yes, I'm saying that I think the circumstances that go around why there's some crazy bets, that's going to maybe throw some red flags up there that can be calmed down. But this stuff with the students, yeah, it's gonna reveal that students are betting on games, that the athletes are betting on games, and it'll be a lot of it similar to what Jamison Williams. Oh, yeah, I'm a football player. You mean I can't bet on baseball? No, you can't bet on baseball.
No, I'm calling on basically the big institutions that everybody that seems to have huge fan bases, right? I'm calling on Alan Haller at Michigan State and Ward Manuel of Michigan to get in front of your student body and reiterate. This is not a meeting you can sleep through.
Right.
I need all eyes on me right now. You cannot gamble legally. You will get busted. I don't know if there's legal ramifications. I was listening to a national podcast about Brian Bohannon, the coach at Alabama, and they're talking about a potential prison term, right? And, so they certainly don't want any of that.
That's a bit much.
It may or may not be. I don't know how deep was Bohannon really, truly giving away. Was he truly giving away insider information to benefit and have people bet for him against his own team? That's game fixing. Now, did he just casually say in a conversation with a friend that he had to scratch his starter and that led to the bet and he was loose with the information and careless? That's something completely different. But, I don't, speak to the student athletes about the potential ramifications. Because I don't know if it's prison time. I don't know. I tried to figure that out. But what it is going to mess with is eligibility. And I just think to huge expectations for our local teams, in Ann Arbor and East Lansing, it would suck to lose a key player for an extended period of time. because these rules weren't emphasized, and they need to be. I mean, they need to be. When you're done playing, you can do just about whatever you want. You got to follow the rules of your employer, whatever it is.
Unless you're a professional.
Well, but then the rules are a little bit looser. I mean, because that was about where Jameson Williams made the bets.
Right.